Board of Education to order. Could we please have a roll call of all members present? Vice President Legarreta,
Here.
Member Garay,
Here.
Member Marcus,
Here.
Secretary Montes,
Here.
and myself, President Gonzalez, are present. Could we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I salute the flag of the state of Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among many cultures. Item number 1 on our agenda is the approval of the consent agenda. Before I have Secretary Montes read the items off, does anyone have any questions on any of those items?
I don't have any.
No. Secretary Montes, would you please read the consent agenda items?
Approval of consent agenda, A. Approval of agenda, B. Approval of minutes, regular board meeting 1/15 of 25. C. Approval of January 2025 bills. D. Approval of budget adjustments, requests, transfers, cash requests. Maintenance bars include 11,000, 13,000, 24,101, 24,103, 24,106, 25,153, 26,204, 27,149, 27,407, 28,189, 3,11,00, 3,17,03. Increase bars. Perkins Basic, 24,174. In the amount of 1,223. USDA Food Pantry in the amount of 300,000. Transportation, 13,000, 1,923.50. Rural and low income schools, 24160 in the amount of 12,736. PCT number 3,1100 to 41,000 for bond interest payment, 526.22. Increase bar, 41,000. Decrease bar, 3,1100. Cash balance adjustment bars, 11,000, 12,000, 13,000, 15200, 21000, 21100, 22000, 23000, 31701, 31703, 41,000, 25,153, 26121, 31200, 26204, and 31100.
Thank you, Secretary Montes. That was a lot tonight. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a
Seconded.
second? It has been moved by Member Marcus, seconded by Secretary Montes to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 2, Superintendent Report.
The first thing on the superintendent report is a presentation by the RBC.
Good evening, board. The RBC actually canceled tonight and would like to present next meeting.
Easy. The next thing on the superintendent report is the Heart of the Bear Award. Fernie, if you'll help us out on that.
This is a fun one today, guys. I'm not asking for money or anything. I get the fun part today. Excited. I'm going to ask for 3 of our students to come up and we'll talk about each of them once they're up here. If I can get Travis Lucero, Travis Cash Lucero. make them stand up front so everybody gets to see them. I know it's exactly your favorite thing to do. Yeah, Oren Russell and Karen Vasio. So I'm gonna apologize, Travis, because the stuff you've accomplished is amazing. So, but it's new to a lot of us, so I might ask you to explain a little bit. So Travis, he's a junior at Hatch High School, team roper. He qualified 3 times for Vegas, correct? And that's the big show, correct? 1 time for the Vegas toughest and 2 times for the junior NFR, once in the open roping and then a 10.5 roping. Is that correct? He won money for the Vegas toughest as well. As junior, came in 9th in the world
Wow.
for the open roping. Then came in 9th in the world and then 10.5 roping. Correct? And then just to add in there, just in case you guys know how awesome he is, in 2024, he won reserve all-around champion at the New Mexico Junior Rodeo Association rodeos. Again, it's phenomenal. So on top of being a student, on top of doing all those things, he's got to go and then so we know just I want to get it right. The Vegas toughest is from December 3rd to the 15th. He's up there for about 12 days. Now, how early do you get there for that? So again, it's those things we don't realize our kids are doing on top of all the school stuff they're doing. And it's just something amazing. We've got to realize that we've got kids doing amazing things all the time. So again, once again, Travis, congratulations on a great rodeo season. I know you're going to do it again, correct? All right. So, you know what I mean? So now you got to beat those. I hate to throw it up there for you and stuff, and then we'll bring you up again and honor you again the right way. Then we've got Oren Russell. So Oren was voted and nominated for the Las Cruces Sun News Male Athlete of the Year. We're talking about a gentleman here who was first team all district in football. You've actually been that a couple of years, correct? And then on top of that, he just recently signed to play at New Mexico Highlands University. Really happy to have that day be able to see that and watch him celebrate with his family. And those are things that are always, we don't get to do enough of, right? The fun stuff. And then we've got Karen Vasio, who was also nominated the Las Cruces Sun News Female Athlete of the Year.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's a first team all district soccer player. She was actually the defensive MVP for District 3-3A and was a second team all state soccer selection this year. These are one of the many examples of kids that do great things, but we don't get to do it enough where we get to honor students like this for all the things they do, all the time and effort they put in. These kids are not the kids that show up to practice just when they're told. These are kids that show up to practice and do the things when it's cold, when it's hot, when it's dark, when they're not comfortable. They're the kids that get out of bed every day and they show up all the time. I don't think they miss. I mean, it's hard to hold Oren out and he's dying one day with his back and people are trying to grab him to make sure he doesn't try to take himself back in a game. I can't imagine how many injuries you deal with, Travis, just falling off. Just think of the things he's doing to get to that level. They have to push limits. They have to push their bodies. And the most important thing they have to learn to do is be resilient. Something we wish more of our students were like, just like the three of you. So at this time, Miss Perry, who's filling it tonight, is going to present you guys with the Heart of a Bear. If the families want to come up and take a closer picture, now would be the time. We're going to get pictures up there with everybody. You're filling in. Hey. Everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. Wait, hold up, guys. Hold up. I want to point something else out to you guys and something that I'm going to use you three as a perfect example. One of the hardest things for us is this isn't their favorite thing to do. None of these three were like chomping at it to come up here. There's a different quality when you have kids that are willing to do all that and they're not looking and walking around the street saying, look at me. They try to hide, and we need to make sure we teach them not to hide, to be as
Right.
proud for all their accomplishments, because what you guys have done this year has been absolutely amazing, and don't forget it.
Congratulations, guys, and just want to point out you guys are awesome with the hard work you're putting in. Thank you guys so much for representing Hatch Valley.
That's all for the superintendent's report tonight.
So item number 3 is limited public comment. Elsa, do we have any limited public comment? Moving on to item number 4, new business. Item A is for review and attention NMSBA policy services alert for January of 2025. I guess, Ms. Perry, the question we have is how is this affecting us right now?
It won't really affect us too much, just right up front. And you only are reviewing it. You don't have to
Mhm.
vote on anything or change anything. We get those policies from up top, and so it'll just change with what they're doing.
Are there any questions about this time?
Have anything?
Item B, consider approval of E-rate category 1 for Lumen Internet contract.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening, board.
Yes.
And everybody. So we went out for an RFP for our annual internet renewal to get our contract. We only had one respondent to that RFP. That RFP was responded by Lumen, who is also our current internet provider. What we did differently this year is that we went out for our 1-year contract with the option of 2 consecutive 1-year extensions, provided that both HVPS and Lumen agree. This will prevent us from having to go out to RFP for the next couple of years. Nothing has really changed. Our network is going to stay the same. Our speeds are going to stay the same. So I'm just asking for the board's approval to send Lumen the award letter for the contract.
Are there any questions for Mr. Campbell at this time?
No.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Secretary Montes, seconded by Member Garay to approve as presented the E-rate category 1 for Lumen Internet contract.
Okay,
Due to the
perfect.
cost, we'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. Could I have first Vice President Legarreta,
Aye.
Member Garay,
Yes.
Member Marcus,
Aye.
Secretary Montes,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion carries.
Perfect. Thank you very much, board. Have a good evening.
You
Thank
too.
you,
Thank
Andrew.
you.
Thank you.
Item C, consider approval of ESA proposal to move and remodel portables from HES to transportation. And I'm gonna assume this is that little portable out there that was pre-K at one
Yes.
time?
Sheila, can you tell us more about that?
Good evening again. Yes, this is an unused portable just north of Hatch Elementary, the same location that we are planning to put the teacherages. So since we were planning to move that anyway, we would like to use it as bathrooms for the bus drivers. Currently, they are using a bathroom in the shop and then one in the office. And so oftentimes, especially after a trip, there aren't any doors open or unlocked to them. So we would like to go ahead and use that portable. There's a quote here to move and do some upgrades to the inside. So it does need some flooring painting. They'll make sure the toilets are working. There's a plumbing contingency here. So we would like to move forward with that if it pleases the board.
Ms. Sheila, are we doing ADA, everything compliant with that building? or-
Yes, everything will be compliant. So I do not believe this will need new ramps like the other portables. The height of the old portables that we moved to be used as athletic dressing rooms, we had to buy new ramps because since there's a wall between the two rooms now, you couldn't use one ramp for the whole building. And then the grade of the ramp was too steep to meet the current ADA compliance rules. So this, the ramps that we have on this portable are compliant.
Any further questions?
I don't have it.
Okay, do I have a motion to consider?
So moved.
Second. Okay, it has been moved by member Marcus, seconded by member Goodeye to approve the ESA proposal to move and remodel portable from HES to transportation. We'll go ahead and do a roll call vote again. Vice President Legarreta,
Aye.
member Goodeye,
Yes.
member Marcus.
Aye.
Secretary Montes.
Aye.
And myself, aye. Motion carries. Item D, consider approval of the New Mexico PSFA project closeout. This is the Hatch Valley Public Schools pre-kindergarten.
Again, this is a project that we completed over the last several years. It was actually awarded in 2020. It was completed over a year ago, but PSFA is now following up on all the closeout documents for the PSFA award because it's the end of that cycle. So there's two documents here, one for pre-K and one for the demolition project on the gen. So if you have questions about that as well, both of these are just closeout documents. We do need board approval to sign that.
And this is for Garfield, right? The
The
pre-K
pre-K
remodel.
at
they did in that?
Garfield, yes.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Any discussion?
I have no questions.
Do I have a motion to consider approval?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by member Garay, seconded by Secretary Montes to approve the NMPSFA project closeout for Hatch Valley Public Schools pre-kindergarten. We'll do a roll call vote. If you are in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Vice President Legarreta,
Aye.
member Garay,
Yes.
member Marcus,
Aye.
Secretary Montes.
Aye.
And myself, aye, motion carries. Item E, consider approval of the New Mexico PSA project closeout for Hatch Valley district-wide.
So this is the demolition project, and so district-wide is because those were district-level buildings. And so PSFA paid 100% to demolish the buildings, and again, just close out document for the project.
Any questions, discussion?
No.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved by member Marcus, seconded by Secretary Montes. All those in, I'm sorry, I apologize. We'll do a roll call vote on this as well. Vice President Legarreta,
Aye.
member Garay,
Yes.
member Marcus,
Aye.
Secretary Montes,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion carries. Item F, consider approval of the food pantry remodel project not to exceed $475,000 funded through Village of Hatch and USDA.
I will stand again for this project. This is the funding that has been received by the village, but from the state and by Casa de Peregrinos through USDA, but they have labeled us as their fiscal agent.
Right.
And so earlier in the consent agenda was the increased bar for $300,000. That's USDA. A funding code does not exist yet, but until we have all the documents from USDA, they cannot create the code. So we are still waiting on that. What the board is asking tonight, or what we are asking of the board tonight, is approval to move forward with the PO to the contractor and an architect if we need to. We have plans from Casa de Peregrinos, but our contractor that we've been working with had questions. And so we are looking to bring another architect on, per PSFA contract. We need an architect to oversee the project so that they can make sure that everything will, pass all the inspections. I don't know that scope of work, and I don't want to put myself in that situation. And so we did talk to Casa de Peregrinos. They are not online. They were planning to be. That's Lorenzo right there. So yes, the request is to be able to move forward with the POs as soon as we have the approval. So by approving the budget tonight, we can put that into OBMS and then move forward with our POs. We cannot start the part that was funded by the state until we have all the documents from USDA, because that could negate USDA's grant with Casa de Peregrinos. So we're kind of in a holding game. So we want all our ducks in a row so that we can just roll forward as soon as we get that final document from USDA.
What's the time frame for the creation of that new code? Is it soon or?
That, it actually took about a month last time, but what we were waiting on was USDA.
Okay.
So right now, Lorenzo is online if you have questions specifically about where we're at with USDA. So they are the ones completing the application. They have labeled us as their fiscal agent. So the USDA will give us the money for the project. There are no hatch dollars spent on this project. So this is something that was approved when we applied. And so we're just asking for permission to move forward with the POs because they will be over 60,000.
Any further questions, discussion?
I have nothing.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion made by Member Garay, seconded by both Secretary Montes and Member Marcus. We'll go ahead and proceed with a roll call vote. Vice President Legarreta,
Aye.
Member Garay,
Yes.
Member Marcus.
Aye.
Secretary Montes,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 5, items for future meetings. Are there any items that we need to have on the future agendas?
There's some issues. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, I don't think I got it.
Item number 6, next regular board meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, March 19th, 2025 at 6 p.m. here in this complex. And item number 7 is adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Seconded.
All those in favor of adjourning this meeting, please say aye.
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 Yeah,
Thank you so very much.
Aye, aye, aye.
Fast there, President Gonzalez.